It's no secret that many rural hospitals, particularly in Kansas, are struggling to keep their doors open. That's according to the Kansas Hospital Association. They say more than half of the state's hospitals are in danger of closing.
Pratt Regional Medical Center, one of the hospitals that's been struggling, and they say they're making progress staying afloat, but they need more help to keep things running.
Over the last year, Pratt Regional Med Center has improved its operating margin by 9%, bringing them into line with the state average of -7%.
Despite that progress, Pratt Regional came to Pratt County Commission for help, saying significant measures would need to be taken to climb the rest of the way.
Number one, we need $15 million for this option to be viable. Our ability to borrow the necessary funds is limited due to the lack of collateral. Guaranteed Lending Services reports they believe funding through USDA would be available if the county would back PRMC. Option number two, donation or gift. A donation or gift with no expected payback would need to be $8 million. Option number three, sales tax assistance. We would not ask for an increase in the current sales tax, but perhaps an extension of the current tax.
I'm just going to say on the donation and gift, we don't have that kind of money.
I don't know what option one looks like.
But what's causing this struggle? The hospital has a laundry list of reasons.
Anesthesia services have been up by 400%. Radiology services are up nearly 5 times this year compared to previous. Personnel costs are up 34%. Medical supplies and drugs are up 36%.
Now the groups are working with the county's bond council to find a solution. The hospital says if none of those three options are taken by the county, then they'll have to consider either merging with a larger healthcare system or bankruptcy. In Pratt, Keel Chapman, 12 News.
Pratt Regional expecting to bring a financial update to the November 24th Pratt County Commissioners meeting. The hospital declined to talk to us on camera, but said little progress has been made on a decision since the meeting earlier this month. We reached out to 3 Pratt County Commissioners for comment, but have not heard back from them yet.